In the late 1940s and early 1950s, that is when television first reached the Appalachian Mountains. Families would gather in a single neighbor's home in their living room to watch, because not everybody had TVs, not everybody could afford one. So for many, that flickering black and white screen was the very first moving picture that they'd ever seen outside of a movie theater. Television, it wasn't just entertainment, it was a huge event. Kids would sit shoulder to shoulder on the floor. Neighbors pulled up chairs. Somebody brought food to share. The first shows people saw were often wrestling matches, live news broadcasts, or variety programs in the early 1950s. For communities that had been isolated from the rest of the world for generations, television became a window to the wider world. People who had never left the mountains, never left their mountain county, they were exposed to the rest of the world. They saw city streets, national figures, breaking news for the very first time. Stories survive of families walking for miles in the 1950s just to catch a half-hour program at a friend's house, because they didn't necessarily have like paved roads and cars. They had to walk and hike through the mountains to their neighbor's house, and their neighbors weren't necessarily close. So in some towns, you had store owners put televisions in the shop windows, and crowds would gather outside on summer nights to watch it. What we think of as a private activity now, streaming Netflix, hanging out on our couch, laying in bed, that was a public communal experience at one time. And, the 1950s, that wasn't that long ago. And it's crazy to think of the entertainment and the technology we have to entertain us now. So thinking about it, by the 1950s, mid-1950s, televisions were starting to spread across Appalachia, and that changed the culture, because that was like the first time we were seeing, our ancestors were seeing the outside world and what it looked like and what cities looked like, and it changed how people spent their evenings, how communities functioned, activities. That brought the wider world into the mountain valleys and gave communities a new shared connection beyond the mountains. When the first TV came to the Appalachian Mountains, it didn't just change what people watched, it changed how people came together. Hit the like button, follow along for more, and share to help my post be seen by more people. Thank you.